Margaret, 72 years old, had been living alone in her cozy suburban home since her husband passed away more than a decade ago. The photo frames were still there, snapshots of the two of them smiling by the ocean, holding hands under a golden sunset. But now, the bedroom had grown unbearably quiet. Every night, when the lights were out, she'd lie awake in bed, not just from loneliness, but because of something unusual, a feeling she hadn't expected to linger at her age. Craving, a desire. But instead of embracing it, Margaret felt ashamed. She prayed, asking for forgiveness, convinced that such thoughts at her age were inappropriate, even sinful. After all, who talks about sexual feelings after 70? She thought those days were long gone, buried with her youth. That belief stayed with her until one day during a routine medical checkup, she found the courage to mention it to her doctor. A man in his 50s with kind eyes and a gentle voice, he looked her in the eye and said something she would never forget. "Margaret, this isn't a sin. In fact, it might just save your life." It was the first time someone had said that to her, not with judgment or discomfort, but with empathy and care. For the first time, she felt seen and understood. The truth is, 40% of women and 60% of men over the age of 65 are still sexually active or engage in self-pleasure. But nearly 90% of them never tell their doctors, fearing judgment or ridicule. Society paints older adults as past their prime, as if intimacy and desire have an expiration date. The topic is often avoided in medical offices, ignored in conversations with family, and treated with discomfort, if not mockery. Margaret, like many others, internalized that silence. But that day, everything changed. She remembered a late-night documentary she had once stumbled across during one of her sleepless episodes. It talked about endorphins, the brain's feel-good chemicals, and how sexual activity, even self-pleasure, could naturally release them. That night, driven by a mix of curiosity and desperation, she tried something she hadn't done in years. Nothing dramatic, just a moment of private connection with herself. And surprisingly, she slept better than she had in weeks. There was still some lingering guilt, but the physical relief was undeniable. Her body, long neglected, felt like it was waking up. Intrigued, she began researching, and what she discovered transformed not only how she thought about her body, but also how she thought about aging itself. Studies from Harvard showed that regular ejaculation in older men, whether through sex or masturbation, can reduce the risk of prostate cancer by up to 33%. In women, sexual activity promotes blood flow, helps maintain natural lubrication, and prevents vaginal atrophy that often follows menopause. More importantly, orgasms release oxytocin, the love hormone, which combats depression and feelings of isolation. Margaret, once ashamed, now felt empowered. "I used to think it was something shameful," she would later say. "Now I see it's an act of self-care." Her doctor had gently guided her through the practical side too. If you have heart issues or osteoporosis, avoid positions or movements that put strain on your chest or bones. Use a gentle lubricant to protect thinning skin. And remember, there's no such thing as too much as long as you feel good. Your body knows its limits. That reassurance changed everything. Margaret began carving out quiet moments just for herself. Not always physical. Sometimes it was a warm bath, a touch of her favorite scented lotion, or simply looking at herself in the mirror and smiling. These small acts became rituals of intimacy and self-love. And 6 months later, she was sleeping through the night. Her cheeks had a rosy glow, and something in her eyes had changed. Something bright, curious, alive. One spring afternoon, she went for a walk in the park, laughing with friends and even, gently, tactfully, sharing her story with a few of them. "I've learned how to love myself," she said with a soft chuckle, "in every sense of the word. And it's changed everything." You might smile hearing this. Maybe it sounds bold. But ask yourself, how many times have you felt something similar and pushed it down, thinking you were too old for that kind of feeling? The truth is, pleasure, and especially self-pleasure, is not just for the young. It's a vital part of emotional and physical health. It helps you sleep, lifts your mood, lowers your stress, and keeps you connected to your own body. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to feel ashamed. If your body still has desire, that means it still has life. And it deserves to be honored. If you or someone you love has ever felt embarrassed about this, I hope you'll share this story. Because this isn't dirty. It's science. It's real. And it's something no one talks about nearly enough. Margaret faced her shame, and she found joy on the other side of it. Her story isn't rare. It could be yours, or your sister's, or your best friend's. Anyone who's ever quietly asked themselves, "Is this still okay?" The answer is yes. It's not just okay. It's healthy. It's healing. And most of all, it's human.